And welcome back to Across the Board with Ian the Colonel here on Hawk Radio, hawkradio.org. Got to say, a lot of great alt-punk pop bands out there these days. However you want to say it, alt-rock. There's so many genres these days. But one of my favorites by far, and of course on the Take Action tour, which we're fans of, Silverstein.
Yes.
Shane Told, lead singer of Silverstein, main songwriter, is with us right now. Shane, are you there?
I am here. How
Nice.
you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
Great.
Fresh off your flight from Australia.
Yeah, it was, it's a long way away, for sure. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, but just too far away.
Yeah, that's what they say. Did you guys do Soundwave over there, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Soundwave, it's an unbelievably great festival, and they put together just an insane lineup. And yeah, I think the only reason they can even put that together is because everyone loves Australia so much.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
And that's fly dates, right? You play a show and then you fly to another. You're flying like every day, right?
Exactly, yeah, and it's actually pretty cool because you'll have an entire plane flight of band dudes.
Oh wow!
So, I was sitting beside the singer of Slipknot the other day, and then
Really?
to the left of me is like singer for Bayside, and then to the left of him is the drummer that used to be in Dillinger Escape Plan. It's just crazy, you have just a plane full of band dudes.
That must be insane. Yeah. So
And then of course you get to the hotel, and it's a hotel full of band dudes, which
Right.
can get pretty crazy.
yeah, I'd imagine. So is Corey Taylor insane in real life, or
Yeah, I'm sorry.
is Corey Taylor insane in real life, or did he sit there like calmly on the plane and?
He sat there pretty calmly, actually. He's a funny dude.
Yeah.
I never met him before, and I didn't even know who he was. I asked him what band he was with.
Uh-oh.
Are you with Justin Bieber or?
I had no idea, but
Yeah.
we sat together for a 3-hour flight in Australia. He's actually really, really nice and really funny, so I
Nice.
enjoyed him.
Well, let's talk about you guys for a little bit. Silverstein here. Again, we're huge fans of the band, so we appreciate everything you put out. You guys are one of the most popular Canadian bands to come out of the rock scene there.
Yeah, I guess besides Nickelback or something.
Don't do that to yourself. Really. We say Finger 11 are good friends of the show as well. We've had to fault on some of those Canadian bands that we kind of give more respect to. But let's talk about the new album that you guys have coming out. What why is this such a highly anticipated album?
I mean, it's our 5th album. We've done a lot of albums. We've been a band for a pretty long time, but this album, I don't know. It's really kind of a new time for us, a new chapter. We were on Victory Records for 4 albums. We had a lot of great times, and we put out a 10-year live record called Decade. And really after we put that out, it just felt like the chapter was kind of closed on that part of our career. Putting out the 4 records, putting out the live record. Now we're on a new label.
Right.
We have kind of a new management team. And really, we just feel revitalized now. And I feel like people are really going to hear it in the album and in the songs. There's just a lot of life to this album, and it really is like kind of an up and down record. It's a dynamic record. It's not just, I feel like our last song was kind of like, it hit hard, but it was kind of one level, where this is really, really just has a lot of ups and downs to it.
Now, as of last research I have, the album is still going to be titled Rescue. Is that correct?
That's right.
And will be released on April 26th, correct?
You got it.
Nice. Looking forward to it. So you guys are actually going to be on the Take Action tour as well. We've talked to Elizabeth from Sex Etc. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I know. How hard is that to say?
Right? I know. It sounds like a sweet band, too. And then we just, we've talked to the guys from Bayside as well. Talk a little bit about the tour and, I guess what it means to you guys to be on a tour that helps raise money for a charity.
Yeah, it's interesting. We come from a background a little bit differently, probably from Finger 11 or Default or whatever. Like, we come from a very punk rock, hardcore DIY background, where all the shows we played early in our career, all the shows were charity. So no bands ever got paid. The promoter gave away all the money to charity, whether it was Chiapas, Mexico benefit, or women's shelter in our community, or trying to keep a record store open, or whatever it was. That's where we come from.
That's great.
We participated in Take Action back in 2006.
Okay.
Had a great time. It was for 1-800-SUICIDE back then, which is obviously a great cause. And now to do this, it's a little bit different. But I think it's great, and I think it's really important that you know, kids. I mean, I can tell you, when I was 14, I didn't know anything about sex.
Yeah.
I thought I did, but I didn't. So,
Exactly.
So it's good that we're kind of educating the kids and the public about it, and really putting the awareness out there. I think it's important.
Now, you've mentioned record stores, and you guys have been supportive of them. Absolutely, you know, the mom and pop stores really drive sales, especially for bands that started small. And you guys are going to be doing something special for Record Store Day, if I did my research correctly.
You're right. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're doing a 7-inch of one of our songs, and then the B side of the 7-inch is 3 basically minute-long old punk rock, hardcore songs that kind of inspired us. And it's just a great thing. You know, I think things have changed over now where you can walk into a major retailer like Best Buy, you guys have all over the States, and buy pretty much any record. But when I was growing up, you know, there was nothing like that, and there was no iTunes. So, you know, I had to go to downtown to Toronto and find, you know, these records that I couldn't get anywhere unless I mail ordered them.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's a really important thing, and there's still a lot of artists that, you know, are underground and you know, you can't get everywhere. And if these stores go away, it's just going to be really, really sad time for music. So it's really important for us to support record stores and do whatever we can, and this release is just something really cool we wanted to do and really special. So I hope everyone can check it out on April 16th is Record Store Day. So
yeah, I agree.
Check out your local record store.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing, and I actually saw an interview with Kid Rock the other night that he said that it's a fact that he has made more money not being listed on iTunes than he would have if he was listed on iTunes, which I think is interesting. And
that is interesting.
He owns stock in Apple, so he's a fan of, you know, but he doesn't want people to tell him how his music should be packaged and everything should be sold at the same price and all. So I agree. Yeah, it's a very, very big thing that there are people, you can't get every band on iTunes, so it's important that you go out and support your local record stores.
The thing with iTunes, I think, is and I didn't hear the Kid Rock thing, but I'm sure it was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, the music industry decided to sell, instead of selling albums for whatever, $12.99, $9.99, whatever an album cost back then, they're like, oh, well, we'll just sell the single for 99 cents.
Right.
And then they end up losing out on 90% of their, you know, revenue. So it doesn't make sense, and I'm sure that's why Kid Rock has been successful, just because, you know, people can't go buy just the new Kid Rock single. They have to buy the whole album. Yeah,
and, you know, that's something we've talked to a lot of bands about. You know, how do you feel about people just saying, that's it, you know, you put years of work into this album, I'm going to buy that one song because that's all it's worth to me. You know, I'm sure you want your entire album heard.
I don't think it hurts bands like our band, or, you know, bands where our fans are actually extremely passionate about our entire record from start to finish.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we aren't just a radio band. We aren't just this band that has a one-hit wonder, you know. We have albums that people really are passionate about. So I think it hurts more the one-hit wonder bands, the bands that you can't remember their name but you remember the song.
Right.
You know, I think it hurts them more than it hurts the real career artists.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about covers. Again, across the board with Ian the Colonel here on Hawk Radio. We've got Shane Told from Silverstein on with us right now. You guys have covered a lot of songs on compilation albums and everything. So you've done Help by the Beatles, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac, which, by the way, we have not yet heard, so we've got to get that from you.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I want to hear that. And even Apologize, the One Republic song. What is your favorite song cover that you've played, and why?
You know, it's interesting you say we've covered a lot of songs, because most bands start out and that's what they do, you know? They're younger kids.
Yeah,
they don't really know how to write songs yet. They kind of want to copy another band, so they start out playing cover songs. We actually didn't do that. We started right out of the gate. We just wrote original songs, and we never did any cover songs at all for the first almost 5 years of our career, not one.
Wow.
And then we had an opportunity to be on a tribute album for a band called Lifetime, and the album never ended up happening, so we ended up using the song for something else, and we kind of really enjoyed doing the cover songs, you know? So then after that, it was just kind of open the floodgates, and now anytime we can do a cover song, we kind of jump at the chance. It's just a lot of fun. So I think my favorite probably was the Apologize song, just because it's such a popular song, and it's so recent, and there's just a huge element of cheesiness to it.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I don't know, it came out great, and people really latched onto it. So
Yeah,
I'm actually pretty stoked on the Apologize cover.
I actually think your version is better than the original too. I mean, the original's a pop song. I'm not as big as a fan of pop, but I really, really like your version. I have heard that, so I dig
Thank you.
that.
Yeah, we try to make it like, you know, rock and a little in your face and stuff, and kind of keep our own style. And yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. So.
Yeah. You guys had my attention, and I remember when I first heard about you guys, and the song that got me hooked was off of When Broken Is Easily Fixed. Given Up was to me was just a really awesome song, and it stuck with me through to the years. It's always been one of my favorites. Talk to me a little bit behind the history of that song. It's just, to me, it's just one of those songs that really tells a good story.
Yeah, thank you. It's a bit of a different song at the time. When we started out the band, I'm a guitar player, and I was a guitar player in another band, but I wasn't a principal songwriter, really. And then we've only had one member change in 11 years of being a band. And
That's outstanding.
He left the band, and I kind of took over the songwriting duties a little bit more. And Giving Up was actually one of the first songs that I wrote, you know, all by myself. And it was a bit weird because I wrote all the parts, the drum parts even, on a drum machine back in whenever it was, 2002. And I kind of showed everybody the parts. So it was kind of the first song like that I really had just control over. So I think everybody was a little bit weary about that song at first, and kind of, oh, what's this song? So he calls the shots, and we just do whatever he says,
Right.
Which is what happens apparently. But no, it's a special song. It was our first single we ever had. I think a lot of people really, that's when they got the introduction into our band. So it's a special song, and we go through periods where we play it, and then we don't play it. You know, we'll 6 months we play it like every show, and we love it, and then we kind of get sick of it, and then we bring it back. So it's kind of one of those songs that will never really go away, I think, for us.
Now, how do you guys unwind when you're on the road? Obviously, you know, successful bands are bands that tour all of the time. That's where you make most of your money. How do you unwind, and what do you have on the road, on the tour bus with you that kind of keeps you grounded?
You know, we try to be as normal as possible. With kind of the situation we're thrown into. You know, we try to have a lot of family dinners. We call them, where everybody from the band and the crew, we all go out, we have dinner.
That's cool.
You know, we try to do normal things. I actually try to get up and go for a run when I can, you know. And then, you know, it's a lot of downtime, you're right. I mean, you're on tour 24 hours a day, but you're only on stage about an hour a day. So, you know, there's a lot of times when you're literally just sitting there watching, you know, TV, seeing what's on, you know, trying to watch a movie or get a DVD from somewhere, or, you know, a lot of internet, you know, stuff. So it isn't all glamorous for sure, but we try to just be as normal as we can, and we try not to get too absorbed with the decadence and the, you know, all those things that go along with touring band on the road. You know, we try to stay away from that as much as we can. I will admit things do happen, but, you know, for the most part, we just try to stay grounded with, you know, doing normal things, everyday things.
Shane, if you only had, say, 5 to 10 minutes left in your life, depending on the length of the song, what one song would you listen to in that time, or would you play in that time?
Oh, man, what a question.
Thank
One
you.
song, put me on the spot. I guess it's like that's not like asking someone their favorite song. This is like even more epic, right?
What's that?
I don't know, man. Stairway to Heaven? Maybe give myself one last chance to get God to let me in, maybe?
That's why I said 10 minutes, you know, 5 to 10 minutes left, because you might have a longer song
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, like Inagata DeVito, you know, would take half an
What's
hour.
the longest song in recorded history? Let me play that to prolong it just a little bit.
Something like Inagata DeVito,
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
Inagata DeVito.
Yeah. Again, you're listening to Across the Board with Ian the Colonel here on Hawk Radio. We're with Shane Told of Silverstein. Who do you think are some of the most interesting people? It could be either in music or in life in general. Who interests you?
Well, currently it's probably Charlie Sheen.
Winning.
Yeah.
Winning. Seriously, though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there definitely are. I mean, in the entertainment world, there's a lot of interesting people, and it's amazing, you know, how there's people that everyone thinks are so interesting that are probably really, I almost said the F word, I apologize, really
no biggie.
boring. I mean, you'll get someone like Lady Gaga, you know, she's got all this crazy stuff, she shows up in an egg.
Right.
I can't even imagine spending like a Saturday night with her. I bet she's so boring.
You're probably right.
You know what I mean?
Overcompensates.
There's so much of this like persona of these these like rock stars that they throw this out there. There's some dudes though that are interesting. I think like somebody like Vince Neil, man, that guy, he lived it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like you say what you want about him, love him or hate him, but like that's an interesting person.
Absolutely.
Ozzy Osbourne, that's an interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think guys like that are really, guys that you can just tell they wear their battle scars. They're not just all stories. I think that's a big thing.
Now, you guys obviously have made a huge impact on a lot of your fans' lives, as most bands have, but it seems like to me you guys have made such a bigger impact. Pretty much same thing we said to Bayside. You're a fan. The fans are so dedicated and so given to your cause. What do you want to be your legacy when Silverstein is done?
No, I think there's something to be said. It's a little cliche, but the music lives on forever. And I remember very early on, back in the Giving Up days, I saw a kid, and he had a tattoo of our album cover on his arm.
Wow.
This is just about a month or two after our first album came out.
Wow.
And right away I was like, oh my God, I ruined this guy's life with this band. Because he's going to have that in his arm forever. But, after hundreds and hundreds of, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of tattoos, you start to understand that music, what you say and what you do really does speak to people, and it really is important to people's lives. And long after the band is broken up and I'm dead, there'll still be people walking around with, tattoos on their bodies, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure those people will still be listening to the music, and those things are really going to carry on for a long, long time, and people are going to constantly go back and say, remember this band, remember this song, and people are going to go back and relive it, and younger generations are gonna get into it, and it's something it's a beautiful thing. And I think with what we do and what Bayside does, we write albums, we write songs that really mean something to people. We aren't trying to write songs for radio hits,
Right.
And I think that's the difference, and I think that's really what art and music should be.
Absolutely.
And to us, it's not a business. It's not. Yes, it is our job. Yes, it is what we do for money, but that's not why we do it. We do it because it's fun,
Right.
and we do it really just to give back to people and just speak to people and as an outlet for ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what makes a great band. I agree. Shane, what's the most interesting thing you've ever asked for in your contract writer? Or can you not say?
Well, I've been trying to get a Fleshlight for years.
Outstanding answer.
But, our tour manager just won't do it.
Oh,
and
man.
It's kind of it's funny. It's a joke. It's a running joke. But let's be honest. If it showed up one day, I might give it a whirl.
Right. No pun intended. Might give it a whirl. Yeah, right. Nice. Well, Shane, again, we appreciate it. Rescue is the new album that comes out next month. It comes out in April.
April 26th.
April 26th. And you guys are out on the Take Action Tour, silversteinmusic.com, and you guys are everywhere with Twitter and Facebook and MySpace. And
yes.
So
please stay high. Twitter.com/Shane Told. Twitter.com/Silverstein. We're on there all the time.
Absolutely.
I love Twitter.
Absolutely. So, and that and the Fleshlight kind of go hand in hand, I think. But
Twitter.com/Fleshlight. I don't know what's there. Check it out, though.
We're going to follow it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something there. So, Shane, again, we can't say how much we appreciate it. But all the fans that are listening around the world right now, go out and buy the album. Buy it at a record store if you can on Record Store Day, April 16th. And definitely see these guys. What, huh?
You won't be able to buy the whole album then.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a good point.
Comes out,
We'll buy it at a record store once it comes out.
Buy it.
Yeah, there you go. Good point, Colonel. Wow, you're on the ball today. And definitely see these guys on tour. The Take Action Tour with Bayside and Silverstein is out, coming out soon. And we'll see you guys when you guys come through Baltimore, actually. So looking forward to checking you out then. Absolutely. So thanks again. This has been Shane from Silverstein on... Well, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get off the caffeine, man. It's shutting my brain down. Anyway, with the Colonel here on Across the Board on Hawk Radio.
HawkRadio.org.